Hello, hi, and welcome to Empathic Fire. I am your reader, Jay. These are going to be general messages for the sign of Sagittarius in mid-October 2020. What's going on, Sagittarius? How are you guys doing? I hope that you are doing well. All right, friends, welcome to mid-October. Wherever you are in the world, Sagittarius, at this time, I hope that you are safe, happy, healthy, and secure, my friends. I'm wishing that for everybody on Earth because, man, we need it. 2020 has been quite the year. So anyway, please continue to take very good care of yourselves and those that you know and love at this time, Sagittarius, because again, 2020 is out here doing all kinds of crazy. And it's something to behold. It's something to behold, yeah? But let's go ahead and get into it for you, Sagittarius. Anything that you want from me, thank you. It's already in the description box, so if you want to see the timestamp, it is down there. If you would like to see information on how to purchase a personal reading with me, that information is down there. If you have questions before you place an order for a personal, email me at the same address that is listed there, and I will answer you as soon as I can. If you're interested in making a donation to the channel, please use either the PayPal or the Cash App link that is provided below, and just make a notation when you send over any donations that, hey Jay, this is for a donation. I'm not looking for a reading in exchange, and I won't have to chase you down and be like, hey, how come you gave me this money? I appreciate it, but I need to know why. So that just, skips a step, sort of. And if you're interested in following me on Instagram, the name is EmpathicFire Tarot over there, and the link to it is down below in the description box as well, okay? All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. Let's see those messages for Sagittarius in mid-October 2020. Messages, energies, insights for Sagittarius in mid-October 2020, please. They want a bridge. Feels like just one. Am I right? Let's find out. I was right. All right, let's get into it. Sagittarius, please. Mid-October. Whoa, okay, hang on. There we go. King of Cups. And, all right, we're going to take that because he kind of was lingering there on top. But King of Cups, whatever that is. And let's see one more, please, for Sagittarius. In mid-October, one more, please. Thank you. The Death card. All right, and what came out in the center was Two of Swords. Ayy. Ayy. All right, here we go. King of Cups, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Two of Swords. Da-da. And the Death card, major kind of for Scorpio. Could be dealing with a Scorpio, but you don't have to be. Sagittarius, what's these feelings? What are these feelings, and why are you blocking them out? It doesn't have to be you. It is a general. It can go, the other way around, but it feels like Sagittarius is mostly you. You've got quite an awareness of your feelings, but are you talking about it? Are you expressing it? Are you sharing your feelings, or are you keeping your mouth shut? You're keeping your mouth shut. Again, it can be reversed. I do feel it's sort of a mixed bag, but if I were to quantify it, it feels like 60% of you, or 60% is affecting Aquarius, or this is you, 60% of you guys, and then like 40% it's the other person. So take your pick. But somebody here has a vast amount of emotions, possibly very complex emotions. That could be why we're not talking about them. It doesn't, when we don't express our emotions, it's not because, sometimes it is not because we simply don't want to. It's simply because we don't know what the hell they are because they're so complex. However, what I'm feeling, because this is a king, it feels like you are aware, and you are also just not interested in other people being aware. Like, to tell other people what you're feeling, why you're feeling it, how much you're feeling it, it would give the power over to them. Kings, queens, they're masters of their suit, and you don't get to be the master. You don't get to be the top tier. You don't get to be, standing on the castle walls, looking down at your at your little society or whatever, and you don't get to that position by giving away all your secrets, so to speak. So, secrets, that's an interesting word. So for some of you, this is about secret keeping. And again, it's really coming from this place of like deep, deep emotions. Because you see this king, he's submerged up to his eyeballs in water. So you guys are in your feels hardcore, and you don't want to express or share that that fact, or what the emotions consist of, or what they're geared towards, or who they're geared towards, or any of that stuff, because it would take away your power. In some of you, like, I don't know what this is. I mean, it could be a crush, but I think it's more than a crush, you know. And this can be feelings and emotions outside of romantic dealings, or entanglements or connections, right? But for some of you, this might be, or you might be thinking, why? That could be the complexity of it. Some of you might have a lot of emotions towards someone that in other times in your life, it was more like a crush. Like, oh, I just generally like this person. I think they're cool. I think they're really cute. I love hanging out with them. But, you know, I'm just like, you were in control of it. It didn't, like, this is like, oh God, what the fuck? This is like so close to being overwhelmed by what you feel. And that admission, that truth, acknowledging that or sharing that information with anyone else would just like, it would like blow the doors off something, or you would feel out of your element in some type of way. So I feel for some of you, maybe for the first time, it could be for some of you, Sagittariuses, and I don't care how old you are, and I don't know what your life experience is, I don't know the details, but maybe for some of you, this is the first time you've been in love with a person, but you don't know that. That's interesting. That only plays for a few of you. That's not even for the majority of you. That plays for a few of you. You could be in your 40s thinking you've been in love before. Maybe you've had full-on marriages and shit. Who knows? But now you're like, you met someone, or you're in connection with someone, or you're interested in someone, and like, you've never felt this way before. It's something like that. There's a whole different, or excuse me, there's a bunch of different like details to this or nuances to this. But the bottom line is the emotions that you feel regarding another person, whether it be romantic or not, because this could just be, you know, incredible infatuation or connectedness with a friend or a family member, or, you know, somebody that you're in business with, whatever. But whatever you're feeling, it feels like for the first time, or it feels like it's too much to bear, but at the same time, you're not going to tell anybody. Where's that not telling coming from? The Two of Swords. No way am I telling any living soul or dead soul, since this is the zombie apocalypse deck, or the zombie tarot deck, I should say. You would rather, this is hyperbolic, okay? This is totally hyperbolic, but like some of you are like in this mood of, I would rather die than let anybody know what's going on inside of me about whatever you're feeling. Now, okay. This is a late edition, and it doesn't play for everybody, but for some of you, it's like a missed opportunity and or an ex, right? Or an old friend. Like, you could have had a blow up with somebody. You could have fallen out of communication with someone. It could be an old flame from, you know, just it never went anywhere, but there was always like a strong flirt going on, you know, and you're with someone else and they're with someone else, but you're like inside dying for a chance to be with them. But it all comes back to that idea, again, super hyperbolic. I would I would rather die than give into this emotion and or tell someone. I feel mostly tell someone. I feel for many of you, I would rather die than tell anybody what this emotional truth is that I feel. And again, this can go vice versa, okay? Others of you, I'd rather die than make a choice. Okay. And now I remember what's over there. I'm like, I would rather die. Death card. Okay. It feels like the cost, whatever that means to you guys, the cost of being honest and or taking action and making decisions to open up about this, or take actions that are aligned with what you feel. There you go. Taking action with what you are feeling. It would be too costly. You'd run the risk of, in your mind, Sagittarius, how you feel, you'd run the risk of losing something. It's too risky. And I mean, listen, I don't know, again, I don't know the details. I don't know which storyline is yours specifically, but take that as you will. You know what I mean? There's something here where you know what you feel, you've thought about it to a sort is a pensive energy. It's where we know we have to do something, or we know there's something to confront, but we're not confronting it, but we're still thinking about it, and we're avoiding thinking about it. But then when we're trying to avoid thinking about it, it just like keeps ruminating in our heads despite our best efforts, right? You know this is going on, but to do anything about it would cost too much. What would it cost? Thank you. Death. To be all ominous. Death. No, I'm kidding. Death in tarot is not a sign of like mortal death. Not all the time. Most times it's not. It's a figurative death, or a metaphorical and metaphysical death, right? Death card, again, major arcana for Scorpio. You could be dealing with a Scorpio, but you don't have to be. This is a change. That's all death is a change, a transformation, right? That energy of, or excuse me, that concept of moving from one phase or state or position in life to another. Transitionary phases, transitionary experiences that we have, and realizing or accepting and possibly reveling in some of your cases that, yeah, you might lose something, or you might change in a certain way, and you know, you might not like it, but but that's the initial response. You know, and I talk about this very, very easily when I see this card and it comes up in a reading. Like, if you think of it in terms of mortal death, yeah, nobody like is like jumping for joy most of the time when we, you know, witness or experience the loss of loved ones. Most of us go through a heavy grieving period, but eventually there is acceptance, right? And to me, half of the acceptance, for me personally, as a person, as a human being, the heavy part is just understanding it's a natural part of life. So, and it's sort of expected or known. There's no shock in it. Losing a person. We all will lose people. We all will be someone that someone else loses. That is the name of the game of life. Okay, that's exactly what's going to happen. But taking it away, going back to it not being about, you know, physical mortal death, but just a not philosophical, again, a metaphysical, yes, metaphysical and or metaphorical death. It's just what happens. So if you are possibly withholding what you feel or think towards another person, or what you feel or think in your life in general, maybe it has nothing to do with other people. Maybe it's just, you might just have a swelling and an overflow of emotions, period. And you don't know how to articulate it, or you're having a hard time, you know, negotiating between your good days and your bad days. Again, this doesn't have to be a love situation like I'm trying to explain here. It can be in other areas that your emotions are so overwhelming. Releasing that information, sharing that information, or tackling the issues that are coming up because of it requires some type of release, quote unquote, release. It's like legit, or not legit, but to me, like, the image that I'm getting is like, and I'm not trying to call anybody out, and I'm not trying to, you know, poke fun at anybody's grieving process, but it's like those times where people go to funerals and they legit pass out, or they throw themselves on the coffin, or they fall out during the procession or during the eulogy, because they just cannot accept that this person is gone. I can't accept that this situation has changed. My life has changed. They're no longer here, and I don't know what to do about that. Not being able to reconcile the transition, the transformation that's occurring in their life. Again, that's just the image that they're giving me. I'm seeing people, and maybe that is what has happened. Maybe some of you, because this image has come in, so I'm going to address it. Again, like, maybe you've lost someone, a loved one, you know, a relative, what have you. And maybe you have a well full of emotions about this loss, but you don't want to talk about it. You don't want to express it. You don't know how to cope with it, right? But it doesn't mean it didn't happen. So I feel no matter where or how this resonates in your life, Sagittarius, you would be beneficial, or excuse me, it would behoove you, it would be beneficial, right? To be ready. Maybe not to take the action, but at least to be ready to accept. Be ready to embrace. That's something that I will also sometimes say about death when it comes up in a tarot reading. To embrace it. Sounds weird. Maybe it sounds really morbid or gross to you. Embrace death. Why would I do that? I'm telling you. I mean, like I said, it's a part of life anyway. You know, my Aquarian moon is very like logical when it comes to emotional things. Even though I'm a super emotional person, I'm super sentimental. I cry at the drop of a hat. But I'm also super logical when it comes to things like this. This is how I feel. All right, let me go ahead and deal with it. Let me go ahead and try to understand this. And I feel some of you are like avoidant of that, or you're not really wanting, again, to share with other people, because it would, again, take away your power, take away your position. Maybe some of you as a King of Cups, just before we go a little bit further, maybe some of you as a King of Cups, whether you're male or female, and again, this is not even your wheelhouse. You're a fire sign. This is water sign energy. But maybe some of you are in a position of power where you're looked to as being the rock in the family, or some of you might be the stiff upper lip type, where you've never had, head over heel. God, I can't even talk. Head over heel. Thank you. Feelings for another person, and now you have, and now you just can't be Mr. or Ms. Big and Bad. I don't have feelings, and now you have feelings because you're not a fucking robot, right? No offense, but like, anyway, let's just get some more information here. More information regarding this situation for Sagittarius, please. More information regarding this situation. Thank you for Sagittarius. Any more? More information regarding the situation for Sagittarius. Any more? Because like I'm delaying, or not delaying, but I can't put this deck down yet. Any more information? No. Okay. And I was like, why can't I put this deck down? Why don't y'all just tell me that was it? Then they tell me. All right. So first one was the Emperor. Okay. And the Queen of Cups. Listen. Excuse me. I just did Aquarius a little while ago. I apologize. You might be dealing with an Aquarius. Or excuse me, no. Aquarius is an air sign, so take that back. But I said it, so maybe some of you are. Emperor, Aries, thank you. And again, Queen of Cups, water sign energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. Could be dealing with any of those signs or not at all. Someone here, you or the other person or other people in the situation, whatever, there's a lot of tough acting going on here, Sagittarius. A lot of tough acting. And maybe that kind of fits for a few of you. This is not true of all Sagittariuses, but a lot of you have this trait where, you play loose and fast. You don't usually, I mean, this is, again, a stereotype of Sagittarius, so it's not true for everybody. But there is this idea of sort of Sagittarius is a rolling stone. Sagittarius doesn't have a lot of deep feelings. They're much more interested in fun and exploration and just like go with the flow, and whatever happens, happens. They're very like, carpe diem, c'est la vie, and can be kind of poetic in those ways, and all that kind of stuff. And what I'm sensing here is that might be an act, or there's this act of being unaffected. Emperor, this act of being unaffected. I'm standing strong. I'm not going to be influenced or pushed or swayed. Thank you. Swayed by my own emotions. Like you're playing tough guy or tough girl with yourself. Now I'm feeling like this is kind of ridiculous because I think, like I just said a moment ago, you're not a robot, you're a human being. And I think those that know and love you most, Sagittarius, they already know this. So for some, where you're having, this head over heels feeling about another person, your friends, your best of friends, or the people that live with you, they're like, Sagittarius, you kind of like him, don't you? Or you're like kind of crushing on this person. You're like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not, Emperor. No, I'm not. And they're like, yeah, okay. Like people are reading through your bullshit. Or you're reading through somebody else's bullshit, because again, this can go vice versa. So there's this feeling in this reading for you Sagittarius, that your sensitivity is it's like, you see how the door is boarded up and you see how there's a little boy standing behind this guy. It's like you're trying to keep the vulnerable sides of yourself totally hidden away, totally locked away. Maybe this is a strategic move because the emperor is a strategist. The emperor, much like a king or a queen would be, has an empire, has something that they are in charge of. And when you're in charge as a leader, often, but not always, people would be more critical of you or more worrisome about you if you were putting your heart on your sleeve, so to speak, right? So some of you might have this image to uphold. And I'm not here to say whether that's good or bad, but I just feel like it's kind of useless because I think the true part of yourself is embedded in the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Oh, okay. So the other part of this is not only are you in the King of Cups and you're also in the Queen of Cups, this Queen of Cups energy is possibly shared with the person, for lack of a better phrase, but possibly a very correct phrasing on the other side. Because for some of you, going back to that whole idea of like a death, like a funeral procession and stuff like that, some of you, something about the passing of a loved one or a friend or even a celebrity or someone like you idolized or something like that is really informing this reading in some type of way. For some of you, this is like a personal person that has passed away and like you have all these emotions for them and but maybe you okay. I think, yeah, we're going to go back to that because this is initially for some of you, I got this romantic thing, but I will go back to it. I'm feeling like some of you, someone has passed away. Not necessarily recently. This could have been 15 years ago. But you're sitting with this feeling of, I never told them how I really felt about them. Right? I never had the chance to let them know how much I cared, how much I loved them, how much I respected them, whatever. And some of you might be feeling guilty or, maybe the anniversary of their death is around now or recently passed or something, and they're on your mind. Two of Swords, on your mind. And you don't want them to be on your mind. They've been dead for how long now? Why am I thinking about this person? And so you stuff it away. Two of Swords. You ignore it. Blindfold yourself to it. But again, like I told you before, it ruminates. It comes up when you don't want it to come up. You're trying to push the thought of this person out of your mind, whether they're living or dead. Okay? You don't know, or I think some of you are struggling with that guilt, with that feeling of missing a chance. And I think I did. Thank you. They're reminding me somewhere within the past 2 or 3 months, I've mentioned to you Sagittarius is that you have spiritual connection or spiritual abilities, but you don't know that. And you need to, I'm not saying you need to, but like I was encouraging you in the messages when I did them, were encouraging you to explore that. Cups energy, highly spiritual. Or at least is an avenue, a doorway to that spiritual connection. Some of you, I'm not, telling you to run out and buy a Ouija board or anything like that. I don't know what you would need to do, but I'm going to repeat a little bit what I've said in previous readings for you. If you're concerned about someone who's no longer with us, no longer in your life, and you want to connect to them and they've passed on, you can do it. You just have to find which doorway works for you. For some people, it is doing it through Ouija board or other types of mediums, you know what I mean? Crystals or, not conscious man. God, I can't think of the phrase, but there's different ways. Some of you, it's going to come through, or you might seek it through the help of like a psychic, something like that. A medium, right? Something like that. Anyway, going back to what I initially felt before that, not a sideline, but that other storyline came through, was this Queen of Cups person, especially if they're with us, but it also plays for those who have passed on, but they also feel this way, okay? They have just as much love, admiration, respect, and mastery of their emotions as you do, okay? In my estimation, kings and queens, they're equals. They're just different sides of the same coin. So this guy is over here drowning in his emotions. The Queen of Cups, male or female or not, water sign or not, is just on the beach having a good old time, and her emotions to a certain extent are at bay. She's not consumed by them. You see it? The ocean is over there. She's not at the bottom of the ocean. She's not sinking in what she feels. And I'm only saying she because it's a queen. I could be talking about a male. It doesn't matter. Okay? So the feelings are shared, reciprocated, reflective, or similar, all right, in some form or fashion. And I feel that the queen is much more, and queens are known to be this way, expressive. Kings are not really known to be expressive, right? So if you're worried about this person saying, hey, I care about you too, I'm interested in you too, or I respect you too, I think you're an amazing partner, or I think you would make a great friend, whatever you're worried about getting exposed that you think would depower you, that it would suddenly make you quote unquote weaker in the situation, would actually be, in this person's estimation, an admission of equal power. You know, so not for everybody, so please keep that in mind. Use your own discernment. But this person, I think, while they respect the emperor stance that you've taken, which is to stand strong, not open up this door. Oh, and the thing about the kid that I didn't fully mention, kids are, you know, and maybe that's also why you're being guarded. Maybe you have children. But kids are, you know, some of the most vulnerable people on earth, right? If not the most vulnerable, right? And I'm sensing here like some of you are protecting like your inner child. Like you've got like these, you know, childhood wounds, and you know, maybe you, like I said, maybe you have been in relationships before, long-term, short-term, whatever. Maybe you've exchanged vows and done all that, but you never really were truly vulnerable. You never let your inner child out. And inner child is like that part of ourselves which is quote unquote pure. I use quotes because I don't like the word pure personally, but it's this pure side of ourselves that when we express it or let it out, it is well received, and it has good intentions, and it's happy, and it's joyful, and it's fun, and it's playful. But maybe you never were able to do that in your previous relationships. And I think this Queen of Cups, as I was saying before I cut myself off, would respect your stance. You're protecting yourself. You're protecting your vulnerability. You might not know what to say or how to say it about yourself. That's cool. I feel that this Queen of Cups is not interested in getting power over you. This, again, in my estimation, kings and queens are equals. And I think this person would be, oh, okay, we're equal. We're the same. You know? That's what that feels like. All right, so let's get a card of advice for Sagittarius, and then we're going to wrap this up. So one card of advice for Sagittarius regarding the situation, please. One card of advice for Sagittarius, please. Ace of Hazards. Opportunity knocks. Opportunity beckons. Maybe, maybe the way to kind of get this ball rolling, and whatever it means, is to present a gift or give an offering. Going with that phrase for some of you, the spiritual thing and connecting with passed on loved ones, if you're interested, or just tapping into your spiritual capabilities, which we all have. Some of us will live our entire lives and we'll never know that. But if you're interested, some of you might need to possibly work with altars. Some of you might benefit from like certain rituals. I sometimes participate in like burn rituals, or the process of journaling and then dispatching of what I've written and things like that. And that's like a way to kind of, for me, connect. So that might work for you. But going back to the other group, where it could be gifts or certain opportunities in the physical space. So, opportunities in the physical space. So some of you need to have a chat with a person, or you need to sit down and like have a cup of coffee with a person. So that could be like the gift, or that could be sort of like the chance. Let's go to dinner together, or let's, you know, whenever we can go see a movie together or something like that. But there's like this tangible thing, this tangible offer that you could be extending, or that could be coming from them if the situation is reversed. And I think be real is what's coming through. Be real. Do not do anything with pretense. Do not do anything without being authentic. Like the jewels that are on the wrist and the fingers of this zombie reaching up from the dirt, they gotta be real. I mean, that long in the ground, I'm assuming if they weren't real, it would be tarnished. But it looks pretty shiny and new, right? So be authentic, be real in whatever you choose to do. If you truly want to connect, don't do it because I said so, or don't do it just on a lark, on a whim. Oh, I think I'll try and, talk to my dead uncle or whatever you're seeking to do. Don't just do it if you don't believe in it. Yes, you got to believe in what you're doing. Yeah. Sagittarius, that is your reading for mid-October. If you liked it, the like button is down below. Please hit that for me. If you'd like to leave a comment, let me know how this resonated in your life. You know I love reading comments. Please share them with me. And if you want to share the video with other people, please hit that button as well. Or if you don't want to do any of that, please, for the very little bit that you might want to show towards the channel, support towards the channel, feel free to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications if you want to be seeing when I do my uploads here on the channel, okay? If you guys want to get at me for a personal reading, again, that information is down in the description box below. Sagittarius, I'll be back soon to do those November readings. And that's the tail end of November is your birthday season, so that'll be exciting. But anyway, I thank you guys so much for watching. Take care.